And with that, we are live with another episode of BS Busters. We have a third or maybe even a fourth member coming in, but they're running a little bit late because, life happens. But before we get farther in, I'm going to let the lady introduce herself, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we'll dive down into it. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the BS Busters. I'm Joe Eli Moonstar. Welcome you to this podcast. And if anything, we got plenty to talk about this week, including Sony announcing some pretty new stuff.
Yeah. This is a big week. This has been a very
busy week.
Yeah, this has been a pretty damn big week. So, let's get into it. I'm going to go to my handy dandy outline, which is going to let us know the flow of everything. Oh snap! Okay, so the big one. So the first thing is, we'll get Nintendo out the way first because it's always better to. Nintendo is the king. Let's get them out first because we could gush as fans of Nintendo for a long time about them. So Nintendo had a direct this week. And it was about their 3.0 upgrade for Smash Brothers. So you're getting the new character Joker from Persona 5. Which, I mean, here's the way I feel about it. Considering that the Shin Megami Tensei series, the Shin Megami Tensei series kind of began. Well, it didn't begin. It began on the MSX and the PC, but over time, it eventually came to the SNES. I'm okay with a Persona character, and there's been Persona games on Nintendo systems. So, it
works.
I'm not going to get angry about Persona characters being on the system. Quite happy about that. So what are your thoughts on it? You have Smash Brothers, don't you?
Yes, and I'm going to say this. Joker is light as fudge in a weird way, and yet has JoJo reference written all over it with how many people are joking about him.
He's a little OP.
He's not OP, but he reminds me of how tricky it is to get a good hit on Sheik with the danger of trying to battle Cloud when he has his full power.
All right.
So, if anything, I'm just saying this. Can we at least stop gushing about having him in Smash now, since he's now released?
I mean, I'm not one of those people who gushed about it. I was like, that's cool. But then again, Smash Ultimate isn't really I'm not one of those people who's like, this is one of the best games ever. I'm like, it's okay for what it is. It's better than Smash 4, but to me,
for me, actually, I feel like this is at least a melee killer for me, because seriously, if this could be so good that it actually tops melee, then I'm going to be so happy about that.
Well, I mean, for me, Melee was never that great. I was never like, oh my god, Melee is the best Smash game ever. I thought it was good for what it was.
It's because I keep hearing that it's Melee or bust for all your smashing needs.
Yeah, like I said, Melee is not terrible. It's just not it's not the best game ever. I'm tired of people always pretending that Melee is oh my god, it's the best game ever.
Yeah, I consider if Ultimate could replace Melee in every Smash Brothers tournament, or as in it's referred to as the best Smash of the series, then I'll be happy about that.
Yeah, that's my thing. Melee is not for me. Melee was fine for what it was at the time. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
fine for what it was.
I mean, we evolved over Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So some of the Street Fighters.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Okay, people who like Melee want to treat Melee like it's Street Fighter 2. Like Street Fighter 2 even now is still a very playable game, right? But Melee is not one of those games. Right? Melee is not like, oh, this is still really fucking playable. Not really. You know, I mean, like it's really hard.
Street Fighter evolved.
Yeah,
how come
Street Fighter did evolve? But the thing is like, okay, like the reason people like Melee is because of the exploits that they can use in order to play at a higher tier expert level, right?
And that's one of the big reasons why I hope that Ultimate replaces Melee, because seriously.
Well, I mean that's what I was about to say. Is like the thing about Street Fighter 2 is that literally Street Fighter 2 can be played by anybody. Like if you played Street Fighter 2, you pretty much know what you need to do in order to do what you need to do. It's
accessible to all.
Yes, it's accessible to all. Melee is not accessible to all. It's literally accessible to like a few, right? Like the people who want to play it at that level. For me, I like Brawl because Brawl is it's a little bit more casual, I will admit, but it has a better single player than Melee. The characters are more interesting to me. Let's see. You know, the classic mode is there, the adventure, the classic mode is there, the arcade mode is there, the all-star mode is there. Like everything from Melee is there, except the gameplay mechanics aren't as geared towards helping out people who like to use exploits, which I love. And there are cheap characters in Brawl, like Meta Knight is cheap as fuck if you know what you're doing. But by and large, most people aren't going to be playing that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody can at least use the moves that each character could pull off, and not pull off some stuff that will either break your controller or break your hands, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, so, you know, I think, you know, but anyway, you know, I mean, I think, like, for me, like I said, the first Smash Brothers is fine. Smash Brothers Melee was a great steep step forward, but I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best Smash Brothers ever. For me, my favorite Smash Brothers in the series is Brawl. And then 4, for me, 4 is about on the same level as Melee. Like, it's just, except it's worse than Melee because the single player is just trash. Like, it's like if you have it on the 3DS, it's not that good. If you have it on the Wii U, it's even worse. Like the single player, like they need to be ashamed of that single player for.
I'm not ashamed of it, and if anything, I've actually had some fun with it.
I don't mean you need to be ashamed of it. I mean the people who made it, because I know they could do better. Like, please don't tell me someone who was working on the development for that game, like turned in the single player for the Wii U version and said, yeah, this is acceptable. Compared to what we had before, yeah, it's a board game. Yeah, this is great. Like I don't think that was an acceptable call.
I was going to say if they think that this is supposed to be a party game, then they in a sense succeeded.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's other aspects of the game that are meant to accentuate that party gameness of it. You know what I mean? And not like okay, if like, okay, you have the multiplayer, you have the tournaments and all that stuff. That's the party game aspect. For single player, why the fuck would you put a party game mechanic in single player? That makes no sense. Personally, I think they were in a hurry to get that game out because they wanted the Wii U to have something. And they said, well, fuck it, we'll just roll with this. Which I understand the way that system was running at the time. They just had to do what they could do. But I still think that was a little on the
iffy side.
Yeah, I think, you know, and I mean, look, like we all know how that system was. But anyway, that being said, yeah, so I mean, I haven't really played Smash Brothers that much. I haven't even updated it. I haven't put it in my system. So I don't know how Joker plays. Have you played with him a little bit? Used him as a character?
I've used him some. He's not bad.
All right. I mean, as long as he's better than Cloud Stripe, I'm okay because I hate that character.
He's got aspects that can make Cloud cry.
Well, I mean, he seems to be more of a technical character with that block that he uses in order to upgrade his abilities, to upgrade his attack, so that he can unlock a more powerful form, which is pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So Weister20 has a question. So a story mode is mandatory for Smash in your eyes? Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's mandatory, but once you add it, you can't go back. It's like this, okay? And I'm gonna get a little bit graphic here, okay? If you're married, right, and you're a woman, and your husband adds oral favors, giving you oral favors, like you can't just in the middle of it be like, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. You can't just stop doing something that someone enjoys because it might not be convenient for you. Okay. So
remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is Red Fox we're talking about.
or to be more concise, like if you're at a restaurant, right, and they start offering like a dynamite dessert, right, like a flaming lava cake, where it's like flaming molten lava cake, where inside is like nice and like a little bit undercooked, and on top is like they add like some rum and they light it so it's on fire a little bit, and then you blow it out and you eat it, and it makes your day. This is one of your favorite desserts. And then one day, we're not going to do it anymore because it's a little too difficult. Look, you can't stop now. Shit, you've been doing this for years. So, and I mean, it's not that there wasn't a story mode in Smash 4. It was just really, really shitty. Like the one for the 3DS was basically a kind of a micro bite of Kirby Superstar, the Great Cave Escape. That's basically what it was, except it was a shittier version because Kirby Superstar's Great Cave Escape is a full and complete single player game.
Mini game?
Well, no, that's a game. You can spend, in order to get everything in the Great Cave Escape, that's a good 5-6 hour romp.
Don't remind me. I was trying to be.
Yeah, I was trying to be people. Yeah, I was those people that actually like that. I liked finding everything. You know how long it's a 5 minute. It's a 5 minute thing. You have 5 minutes to do some shit, and that's nice for bite-sized gameplay. But when I buy a fucking game, I'm not playing it for 5 minutes unless it's a smartphone game, and then smartphone games are for people who have a short attention span, just going to do this for 2 or 3 minutes and go do something else. It's like you're at the movies, you got to kill 2 or 3 minutes. You don't want to watch a commercial for something you're not going to watch anyway on TV. So you play with your smartphone for like 2 or 3 minutes. So, I mean, like for me, I found that offensive that they would even do that. And but here's the thing. The 3DS version at least does have some type of single player mode. For the single player, they give you the standard classical adventure mode story that they've had since Smash Bros. 64, which is cool. It's cool. I mean, look, it gets the job done. They had that in Brawl too. But the other single player mode is a fucking board game, which, I mean, like I said, would make sense. Well, Smash Brothers is a party game. That's cool, but here's the problem. It's in the single player mode. So I'm wondering, like, I just want to know who the fuck came up and said, yeah, this is perfectly acceptable, because we all know how they are in Japanese culture, where they just fucking slap people upside the face. So for me, yes, the story mode for 4 and the story mode for Smash Ultimate it's okay. Like basically they took the concept of the board game and made it better. The story mode is better just because it's a more in-depth than what they had before, but it's still not great. Like, I hope this isn't the final Smash Brothers game and we get one that has a good story mode, because like if this is the last Smash Brothers game and this is what they're ending on, yes, the gameplay mechanics are great. They've never been smoother. but man, the adventure mode is shit. You know, normally when you see this is the ultimate version of a game, you've made it the best you can on all in all categories. This, I mean, the gameplay is great, the multiplayer is great, the online is great, but man, that single player is trash. It's better than it was before, but I mean, you know, having trash strewn all on your front lawn versus just in a small part of your lawn is not what I would call acceptable. But that's just me. You know, some people don't like that because reasons. But that's just me. Any other questions, Weister? None? Okay. So basically, Joker came out. A lot of people are loving it. I personally am not. You know, like I said, I haven't played Smash Brothers in a while, Smash Brothers Ultimate in a while, because I have so much other shit to play. Like I've been playing Katana Zero. I've been having fun with that. So it is what it is. Anyway, our next bit of information. Let's see, what else? The Switch Lite.
Sorry about that. There was a phone call, and I was trying to be sure it was answered.
No, I understand that. So basically, this fall, Nintendo's supposed to come out with a Switch Lite, which is a stripped down Switch. So
I keep having to hit my head in the head with my face at the moment. Seriously, people, can they stop calling for a Switch Lite or a Switch Pro for beep's sake?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It makes more sense for Nintendo to make a Switch Lite, like a cheaper Switch, that's more of a handheld, than for them to release a Switch Pro, because
No. There's a reason why I'm not. And I'm sorry about this, but seriously, this is going to put more fuel in the fire saying, kill the 3DS! 3D, kill the S! Kill the 3DS!
The thing is that the 3DS, what is, at this point, almost 8
I know it's about 10 years old, and I'm just saying, wait for a successor to the 3DS, and I don't think the Switch is it.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Switch is it either, but I'm also being realistic about, it's almost a decade old. I mean, if there was a time to say, okay, it's time to transition to something else, now's the time. While they have a successful system out and sales for the 3DS have been basically flat, so it would make sense. With that being said, like I said, legitimately speaking, it makes more sense to have a Switch Mini than it does to have a Switch Pro, because if you're going to put money into upgrading your hardware, into adding new features, you just save that for the next console rather than, because, I mean, let's not forget, but hopefully if they do a Switch Lite, it's going to be less like the Wii Mini, because the Wii Mini sucked.
This is the reason why I face palm about it.
Yeah.
Because I can remember the last time we had a mini.
Yeah, the Wii Mini. Yeah, the Wii
system.
The Wii Mini was a fuck up of not monumental, but like, why would you do that? Like, it came bundled with Mario Kart 7, or no, Mario Kart Wii. But here's the problem: Mario Kart Wii. One of the highlights of Mario Kart Wii was that you could play online with people. Do you know what was taken out of the Wii Mini in order to make it mini?
And this is
so you couldn't play online.
And you wonder why I'm so against hearing about this Wii Mini, Switch Pro, Switch Mini, all that.
When the Wii Mini came out, that was like, what, 13, 14 years ago? Like
12, but yeah.
That was over a decade ago. Technology has come a long way. So clearly, if they do a Switch Lite, whatever it is, it's gonna be online capable and have all those little abilities and speeds and shit like that. That's clearly gonna be the case. Like, I don't think you're going to see a system that's just not going to have the stuff that needs to be. You know, needs to be there. But that's just me, you know.
I think so.
And like I said, I know some people are going to get mad. They're going to be like, "Oh, how dare you, sir? Don't you want to?" I mean, look. I love my 3DS. I play on it occasionally, not as much as I used to, just because I have so much other shit to play on. But when a game comes out that I'm really, that's on the 3DS, I get it and I play it and I beat it, and then I'm like, okay, that was fun. What else can I do? But with that being said, I mean, I'm not going to be naive enough to think that, the 3DS can continue to be heavily supported, because it can't. It doesn't make sense.
That at least wait until there's either a successor or that they officially announce that there's the 3DS is fully going to be non-operational.
Well, I have a question for you. What if they do come out with a Switch Mini, but it also plays 3DS games?
You son of a beep!
Yeah. They're like, yeah, it's a Switch Mini, and it doesn't have some of the capability, like it doesn't have the HD rumble of Switch games, because that'd be kind of weird having a handheld that rumbles in your, like, that would just be really weird. But what if it also plays 3DS games? Like, wouldn't that be kind of an interesting experience?
That honestly is making me flinch, because that's honestly pushing that's going to be pushing the idea of what people are just going to be crying out more for.
Yeah. Or even better, what if they come out with something that people are calling now the Switch Mini? I mean, yeah, the Switch Mini, but it isn't a Switch Mini. It's something. It's something entirely different. It's their handheld successor, but it uses a new media that's like a Switch cart, but not a Switch cart. But also, is 3DS backwards compatible?
Yeah, this is where I'm saying that I was really not having a good feeling about it.
I mean, because realistically, it doesn't make sense.
Because I know the 3DS is old and needs to be ready to be moved on from. But at least let them announce the real 3DS successor, and I hope it's not a Switch Mini, because that means that it's going to validate all these idiots that say that that everything's going to be under one console, and we all know what happens with one leg chairs or something of the similar kind.
Well, I mean, it would make sense from a business standpoint for them to continue the three pillar strategy. And I know people keep on saying, well, their third pillar, if they drop the 3DS, their third pillar will be mobile. But mobile is too hit or miss.
Yeah, and I have played in a few mobile games, and I'm going to say this right now: mobile is tricky as F to even balance out.
Well, I
mean,
I'm not saying they should just ignore it, but I'm saying, like, mobile should be treated like a side hustle, right? Like, you have your main job that you do from Monday to Friday or whatever, and then you have like a nice side thing that you might get, $100, $200 here or there for like maybe an hour or two of work.
Yeah,
it's like you're not gonna say no to
I feel like it's one of those heavy decorative treats. Like, you're not supposed to get a bite of that.
No,
but you can treat yourself every once in a moon.
I'm not going to say that, because that makes it sound irregular. I mean, they're a business. They want to make money. It makes sense for them to make more money than less money. But like a side hustle. It's like, okay, you're not going to put your full energy into it, but just occasionally you just get your 250, $300 for 2 or 3 hours of work. Like, yeah, it's a nice little side hustle here or there. You don't go every week. You don't, maybe once or twice a month. And that makes sense to me. Now, I know some people are going to get angry. They're going to be like, how dare you, sir? But, that's just me.
Yeah, I can at least understand where you're coming at with that line. It's just that, if anything, I hope that at least the third pillar is never mobile.
No, mobile is like extra money in your pocket. It's like your tax return. It's like, if you counting on that, don't do that. Don't count on it.
Nice call out, considering what was this week, at least for the USA.
Yeah, it's like your tax return. Don't count on that money. But when you get it, just save it away. It's like a nice little extra bonus, but it's not your cash money. But anyway, with that being said,
that could be a good transition, because if I remember right, there was something else. There was something else going on with taxes.
Yes. There was a company called UFO Table, where apparently they fucked up. That's all I can really say. They fucked up.
They've got millions in red ink.
Well, it's like 3.47 million, which is a lot of money. Because literally, if someone basically said, here's $1 million, tax free, just here's $1 million, I'd say, well, let's see, I can expand my business. I couldn't open a new location, because almost every location I've opened is pretty much run almost $1 million to open. But I could definitely, hire some new people, socket some away, get some new facilities, maybe upgrade some areas, So you could do a lot with $1 million, but these people owe 3.47 million, which, I don't think there's some malfeasance. I think maybe some people weren't necessarily filing their taxes properly. And there you go.
Oh boy.
And this is in Japan, so Japan is a lot more hardcore about their tax code than we are here in the States.
Yeah. Hopefully you won't have to meet their tax samurai.
The government's got to get paid. Goods and services rendered have to be paid for. So, it's a little shady that the president of the company was like getting money from stores that stock their products, instead of through official channels, like in cash bags and stuff. That's a little shady. Actually, that's not a little shady. That's really fucking shady. That's
putting it lightly.
Right there, yeah. That's really, really, really shady.
Yeah.
And I know what some people are going to say. How dare you, sir? How dare you say that that's shady? It is. That is the definition of business-wide shady. Is someone getting money in friggin' money bags when they should be getting money, in more traditional ways. Shady as hell. But we're only human.
Mm-hmm.
So people mess up all the time. That's life.
It happens.
Unfortunately, that's life. Sometimes people mess up. In this case, someone really messed up. Someone really messed up because they made a serious boo-boo.
Yeah. Well, how about we get out of the red ink with something? Oh yeah, that's right. I remembered. From red ink to blue to new blue item.
Oh yes.
Sony finally announced something that has made people drool.
Well, I was going to say Sony announced something that has people that no one who knows anything about the video game industry is surprised by. It's like, really? Yeah. All those games. Like, I think I said this in an earlier podcast. I said the reason Sony is essentially not is essentially not showing up for this year's E3 is because a lot of those games that were shown last year and the year before that we haven't heard shit about, they're being double ported to the PS5. They're being made for the PS4 and ported over to the PS5. I guarantee it. And people were like, no, and I'll be damned. Sony has come out with some specs, none of these specs have been verified. So at this point, until they're verified, I'm taking it as someone just spouting bullshit. But basically, they're saying that the system's going to be 8K, going to have a solid state drive, going to be AMD powered in terms of graphical processor. It's going to be 2-3 times more powerful than the PS4, and the whole time I'm reading this, and a lot of the games, which Sony themselves said this, a lot of the games that were being developed for the PS4, like Death Stranding and a lot of those games that they showed off at the PlayStation Experience and before then at last year's E3 are being double ported to the PS4 and the PS5.
Oh boy.
So, I mean,
why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
And all that technical mumbo jumbo.
And if you are surprised by this, the only thing I can say is, I mean, do you believe
Welcome to the internet
and fairies and the tooth fairy as well? Do you actually believe a fat man with magic twinkles his nose and comes down your chimney and leaves presents under the tree? Maybe you believe if you wish upon a star, your wish will come true. But basically,
I'm just saying that, all that technical mumbo jumbo, and this is from somebody that's trying to work with games in a sense. All that is just plain fluff.
Well, I mean, the hilarious thing is that they're all like,
that's going to be super powered. It's going to have no load times, and it's going to be so graphically great that you.
Well, they didn't say no. They said it was going to have less. It was going to have shorter load times with the solid state drive. Which, as someone who has a solid state drive on my PC, it does decrease like how quickly certain programs do load. Because solid state drive is like you have a cartridge. Like the memory is held in like a quick flash.
A quick access system, right?
Yeah, but I mean, here's when I knew they were full of shit. 8K. I'm like, first of all, no one is making games in 8K.
There's barely TVs that are in 8K.
Well, there are 8K TVs, and you'll be spending about $20,000 to use them.
I said barely because
I mean,
those that are available, you're paying an arm and a leg for those.
I mean, let me put it this way: I'm comfortable, and I'd whoop my own ass if I bought a $20,000 TV. I would literally like walk out of the store and be like, "Wait a second, let me kick my own ass." And I'd be hitting my own people like, "What's going on?" The man's out there beating his own ass.
Yeah,
I would throw a brick through my own front window at my own house. But and with a note around it saying, "You dumb motherfucker."
That would have been. I mean, seriously, we humans can already see pretty well a lot of colors before we have 8K.
Well, the thing is that human beings, we can't even see in 2K. So why these developers keep on trying to make 2K and 4K and 8K and 12K games when the human eye can't even see at that level?
I mean, all that power should be going to trying to make the game more functional.
I mean,
more
it's like
safety or more safety
It's
for
actually,
things.
well, I mean, it's like
it,
someone saying we're making a condom and it's for someone who's got a dick that's 3 feet long. No one on earth has a dick that big. No one. Why are you making a condom that big? Why? Why? There's no person on planet Earth who has a dick that big. Why are you making a condom that big? Why? Or a bra that's like the size of it's the size of a basketball court. Why? Why?
I'll be right back. You making me laugh so hard.
How would you do that? Like Kenoshi, you can tell me. Like why does Sony feel the need to use marketing buzzwords that, like, for anyone who knows anything about the tech industry says, that smells like bullshit to me.
because they're using it on people who don't know, and they usually get those people's money.
They're like, yeah, we're gonna use it's gonna support 8K, motherfucker. There's no content in 8K.
What are they doing? What are they saying?
They announced the PS5, or at least they it's not even an announcement. They just basically said, yeah, we're working on the PS5 and it's gonna have it's AMD powered and it's gonna support 8K and it's gonna be and it's gonna use solid state memory, so you're gonna have lower loading times. And I'm like, that's cool, but I mean, like, okay, like here's the problem, okay, with them saying this, okay. It's going to support 8K games. Okay, so that means it's either going to render in 8K or people are going to start making 8K games. Now, here's the problem, okay? If developers start making 8K games, even if they give you a larger hard drive for these systems, even if they're a solid state hard drive, you're still not going to have enough space for your game. Okay, and games have just keep on getting bigger. Every time you up the graphical fidelity, the games are automatically going to get bigger. So basically, what you're telling me is that despite the bigger hard drive and the solid state drive, you're still going to have long ass loading times. Maybe not as long as we have now, but still like not short. Because solid state is not an instant, oh my God, this is perfect thing going on. Solid state's like, it's better, but not the best. But whatever, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. You have any ideas about Sony's PS5?
I'm just tired of hearing rumors because it's just gonna be the same song and dance. People saying that this console is gonna be more powerful than the Xbox, or the Xbox is gonna be more powerful than the. It's like whatever. Just
I don't even think. I think Microsoft wants to get out of the console business entirely. Like they're just gonna have a streaming service. Like in the end of it, I just see Microsoft having a streaming service that they're gonna call the Xbox. And Xbox fanboys are going to try and defend that shit. Well, it's better because, I mean, here's what I will say. If Microsoft goes with a virtual Xbox, guess what? You will never have to worry about hard drive size ever again. Because if it's all online and it's just lines of code that you access and through streaming, you'll never have to worry about your hard drive, which I guess is a good thing, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. At least now we gotta say that they're finally starting to put a new system out, so all these rumor mills will stop going at full speed.
No.
Oh my God. Those things will go at full speed regardless.
The rumor will never end. The rumor will never end because, like, I don't know. But my point is this: it's just kind of it's like I'm tired of marketing bullshit. Just tell it. Like, here's the thing: because at the end of the day, for me, it's going to be about games. What type of games? With Sony, I can guess we're going to get more single player, story driven, shitty gameplay games. because that's what's been selling well for Sony. Like The Last of Us, it's not a very particularly good game, but I guess the story is engaging for people, so they play through that shitty gameplay to get to the story, which is a standard zombie apocalypse type thing.
Well, how much trash they're shooting out at the moment? I'd say that they're shooting more trash than what trash that we got in the Wii U Smash 4 game.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Sony's PS5, a lot of people are talking about it. Well, not a lot. People just mentioned it. I'm like, I don't really give a shit, personally speaking. I give no fucks about the PS5. I know some people are gonna get angry. They're gonna be like, how dare you not like the PS5? I don't care.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I've never, like, Sony basically lost me with the advent of the PS4, because the PS4 is a shitty console. And I know some people are going to be like, how dare you say that?
How dare you insult the PlayStation 4? Please,
do insult my...
Please, redact your stupidity before we unleash the smite of our world on you.
How dare you insult the PS4? It's like the best console ever. And I'm like, look, dude, I mean, I don't mean to be an asshole here, but, well, I mean, actually I do. But seriously, like, the PS4 is fine. It's fine for what it is. Best console ever.
That's a reach.
Nah, not even close.
I mean, the PS4 is fine for what it is, but I mean, it's not even the best PlayStation console. I mean, I would put the PS2 as a better console than the PS4. Because the PlayStation 2 had a much better library. It had a lot of RPGs, it had fighting games, it had strategy games, it had platformers, it had 3D platformers, 2D platformers. It had a lot of old ports of like arcade games and compilations. It was just a very well-rounded console.
To this, I can actually agree on.
So, and I know some people are going to get angry because people always get mad when you say things like, how dare you, sir? But I love the Xbox. I mean, the PS4 or whatever. My opinion, I'm allowed to say it. Xbox is fine. I mean, the PS4 is fine. It's not the best console ever. It's not the worst console ever. It's fine for what it is.
It's serviceable.
Yeah, it's serviceable. I mean, it's, like, let me put it this way. If you just want a system that you just pick up and play some shit, the PS4 is fine. If you want great first-party games, I would say get a Switch or a Wii U. If you want great third-party, then get a PS4 or a PC. If you want just a console that's just kind of there, gathering steam. If you have a really
PlayStation 3.
I would say get an Xbox One.
Ouch.
There's music to hold up a desk that's leaning too much. It's great. It's perfect. I'm joking. I kid. I don't want the Xbox fanboys to come after me and beat my ass because you know how they are. How dare you? You should love the Xbox. It's the best console ever, brah.
We've heard that before.
Don't you forget it, brah. Like, dude, stop.
I remember, when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, and I wasn't They just they were just kind of underwhelming when they came out. They didn't have anything particularly unique or interesting exciting about either of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll argue that the PlayStation and the PlayStation and the Xbox One still don't have anything really exciting for me. Because almost every game I really want has been coming to something else.
Yeah.
So what, like, I mean, Persona 5 is probably going to come to either PC or the Switch. So, I mean,
But here, the game, really the only game I wanted, the PS4 for Kingdom Hearts 3 turns out to be a big snore fest. So
it turns out to be meh. So
yeah.
I mean, what can I?
And even big Kingdom Hearts fans are kind of like, they're like, nah, this game is not what I wanted. Like that's what I keep hearing from them.
I mean, so now Kingdom Hearts fans who, would sit there and make people go to wikis to read that shitty fucking inane story. Well, if you know the story, if you play Birth by Sleep in the 3DS game in the Game Boy Advance game, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to do that. Come on, bro. No, not gonna happen.
That story is too complex. Its gameplay is Button Mash 2.0, seriously. And I've actually watched a movie's length video trying to defend it. And I still had to look at this guy like
Seriously?
I had to look at him like, you are honestly giving me a try to say that you have no context.
I mean, I've played the first Kingdom Hearts.
Especially at the second and third part.
I've played the first Kingdom Hearts. I played the second Kingdom Hearts. I've played the Game Boy Advance game that's supposed to bridge the two. And I just find it to be, how can I put this nicely?
Confusing?
No, I just find the game to be mediocre at best. I'm not enthralled with Kingdom Hearts. I don't think it's the best game ever. It's okay for what it is. It's not like, oh my god, this game changed my life.
I found it fun, but it's confusing as fudge and basically simple at times.
Well, the gameplay, I mean, people are like, yeah, it's really hard. Like, it's okay. Here's how the game fools people. Because basically, the way Kingdom Hearts fools people is that what it does is it essentially what it essentially does is it essentially has really easy gameplay, but then some of the hidden bosses are really, really tough. So in order for you to beat it suffers from Final Fantasy VII syndrome, where basically in order for you to beat some of the hidden bosses, you have to grind the shit out of certain areas. But here's the thing. Once you level up enough to beat the hidden bosses in Final Fantasy VII, you're so OP that you don't even, it's like, what's the point,
The only boss I never was able to beat was Ruby Weapon.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, I guess we can move on to the next little bit of news. Not a huge bit of news, but this is kind of a sad downer. But we're gonna toast to the man's life. Kazuhiko Takato, aka Monkey Punch, the creator of Lupin the Third, he passed away this week, 81. Complications due to pneumonia. Like, people are acting like it's. I'm like, the dude lived to be 81 years old. That's a long ass time.
Yeah.
Like a tragedy is when you die at 30. I'm 30, I'm dead. Okay, that's a tragedy. You die at 81, you had grandkids, kids, you contributed, you made people's lives better. You had a good life. All right. And don't let anyone tell you any differently. But yeah, personally, I am, how can I put this nicely? I'm a huge Lupin the Third fan. I have the manga, I have the animated series. I even imported the Dreamcast game, which is basically like this. You go on heists around the world as Lupin and his team doing stuff. It's kind of a nice little game, but it's in Japanese, so I have no idea what anyone's saying. Except like when you're reading it, you just got to kind of figure it out. But it has everyone's sayings and has Fujiko Mine and Jigen, Daisuke Jigen, and Goemon the Third, and Lupin. Nice little game. Maybe not perfect, but good for what it is.
Yep. Rest the soul to the fallen.
Yeah. So he passed away, and he's one of the last of the, like, Lupin the Third. For those of you who might not know, is one of the it's one of those games that basically how can I put this nicely? It is essentially kind of like a it's one of those long running scoundrel animes that basically had more of a mature bent to it. That Golgo 13, which Golgo 13 is basically like about this hitman who's like James Bond, but he's a hitman, so he's not a good guy.
Anti-hero would probably be the better word.
Well, I mean, Golgo 13, like a lot of Golgo 13 stories are him just straight up murdering people, like even good people. So he's not really an anti-hero. But like most of the time when Golgo 13 does something good, it's because someone didn't pay him his money or tried to double cross him, and now he's got to show them why he's like one of the best hitmen in that fictional world. So, you know, that type of thing. It's not because, you know. But for what it is, it's pretty damn good. I mean, I am a Golgo 13 fan, so yeah, it's one of the trio of scoundrel animes that have been long lasting. Like the last one is Harlock Saga, which is basically kind of like space pirates and stuff like that. So old school stuff, and I love it. I love old school mangas and animes where the male characters look like dudes and the female characters look like women. It was awesome.
Where you can actually tell the difference between who's who in gender.
Yes.
Huh.
But anyway, we're almost to the end. So anyone have anything they want to add to not the end of the podcast, but the end of the
news?
We've got Capcom's arcade console. Yeah. Now
I'm sorry. I had to flinch when you said that because hearing $200 plus for that thing.
Oh no, it's more than that. Basically in euros, it's 200. It's like 300 euros, so that's basically like 200. It's like 280 euros. So like here in America, that's like $260, $250. Which, I mean, like here's the thing. Like, okay, I understand that it's using Sakata joysticks, which are kind of like high quality. They're like a step below those high quality joysticks that people love in gaming. But my problem is that it's how can I put this nicely?
Baron.
Well, it's only 16 games. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was saying that I thought it was barren of games, as in a low number of them, and you're using a fight stick to try to play those, which some fight sticks, well, your mileage may vary.
So, I mean, basically, here's how much. So here are the games. Okay, here are the games. Okay, you're getting 1944, which I mean that's a classic, so that makes sense. Alien versus Predator. Okay, that's a classic. Armored Warriors. That's on the Capcom arcade collection on everything right now. Capcom Sports Club. I don't think anyone gives a shit about that game. Captain Commando, also on the Capcom Arcade Collection. Cyberbots. Not really familiar with that game, but whatever. I'm not really familiar with that game. Never heard of it, as a matter of fact. Eco Warriors, so Darkstalkers. Okay, that's a popular title, but you can get that in a variety of ways, like the arcade version as well. Eco Warriors, never heard of it. Final Fight, also on the Capcom Arcade Collection. Ghouls and Ghosts. I mean, that's everywhere. Giga Wing. Mega Man: The Power Battle. Not a very good fighting game. I don't know why that's there. Pro Gear. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Strider, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. And it's around $260. Thoughts?
Well, I'm not surprised.
I mean, I don't know. Anyone have anything they want to add? Nothing? Okay, we can move on to the next one. Sega coming out with a mini console, but they're actually taking theirs seriously. They've got a decent array of games. They've got some games that people love. If you're a Sega fan, you're gonna love this little mini console. If I remember correctly, it's $130. The Sega Genesis Mini, I think it's what it's called. Sega Genesis Mini. Here, let me look up the. So basically, I don't know how much is. Oh, it's okay. It's going to retail for $80, and it's going to have 40 titles. You're getting. This is an updated list. We don't know all the games, but you're getting Sonic the Hedgehog, Comic Zone, Shining Force. You're getting another 10 games on top of that. You're getting Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. A lot of Sega fans love that game. Contra Hardcore, Earthworm Jim, Landstalker, Shinobi 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Super Fantasy Zone, Thunder Force, World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. That's actually a pretty good game. I mean, you're getting a good amount of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, 40 games, some of them are really good. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Or do you just not, have any thoughts on the Sega Genesis Mini? Nothing? Okay. So we're in the free topic portion. Anyone have anything they want to add before we wrap things up? Anything? Okay. So I guess we'll finish early this podcast. Excuse me. So I guess we're done. No one has anything they want to add. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Anyone have anything they want to pimp out before we wrap things up? No? Okay. Peace. Good night.
And hype responsibly.